Warhammer 40k Dawn of War 4 just released its story trailer, and I have not had the opportunity to watch this yet, so I wanted to film my live reaction. I'll probably add my avatar in post-editing just so that we can throw some emotion into this thing, but let's just get into it. I'm so freaking excited.
Peggy 18.
The galaxy
Battle
lies
barge?
shattered.
Orcs, of course.
The
I like the
blood
Vox
ravens
voice.
stand alone. We fight. We bleed.
Oh man.
We die.
Is that Gorguts? Oh, they lost. They straight up
For
lost.
centuries, we have been sworn to defend Kronos. We have returned to find a world in ruin.
Orcs are no joke.
Orc warlords infest the surface.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Mechanicus priests pursue knowledge long
Oh my
forgotten.
gosh, it's Mechanicus 3 already.
Ancient
Literally the
horrors
exact same
awaited,
story.
claiming dominion over
Mechanicus just waking Necrons
all.
up.
Something still stirs below. Buried deep.
Oh my
lost
gosh, is that gonna be a
for
Catan?
and never meant to return.
Is this like a Catan shard? Oh. Oh my gosh, yep.
We stand defiant. Kronos must not fall,
No, it can't.
and we are not alone.
What? You gonna team up with Mechanicus? Oh my gosh, freaking Dark Angels? What? No, what? Are they seriously doing this? No freaking way. Oh my gosh. They're pulling all the strings, dude.
Our future is untold.
Dude, how did they get permission to do this? Dude, two chapters? Plus Mechanicus?
One thing is certain.
What are they pitting them up against?
War has returned.
Oh my god, is that the line, dude? What the fuck? Okay, I gotta stand up. I gotta grab like a drink or something.
A few moments later.
Longtime viewers of the channel know that the Blood Ravens are my favorite chapter for a variety of reasons, but primarily because Dawn of War is what got me into Warhammer 40k. So seeing them receive help from like a canonical character like the Lion of all people is just absolutely insane. I don't know what timeline I'm living in right now. So let's talk about some of the things that we saw in the trailer that I'm just super excited for. So it looks like the Blood Ravens are going to be getting help from the First Legion, or in this case, the Dark Angels chapter and their Primarch, Lionel Johnson. And this is all very interesting because the question on my mind and the question on the mind of pretty much everyone in the community is, where does the Blood Ravens gene seed come from? There's a lot of speculation that the Blood Ravens are basically like tainted. They're from an unknown founding, and that their gene seed is possibly a strain from like the Thousand Sons, because they have so many librarians, so many psychers. But if we're going to be diving into the backstory of the Blood Ravens in Dawn of War 4, it would be epic. It would be so cool if they were actually descendants of the Dark Angels. But as amazing as that sounds, it's probably not the case. It just seems like it would be extremely unlikely with all the clues that we've received surrounding the Blood Ravens so far. It might even be a stronger narrative for the Thousand Sons to indeed be the chapter that the Blood Ravens stemmed from, but then they get involved in like a DLC or an expansion for Dawn of War 4, and that becomes a major contested point in the campaign. Like, considering that the Line is involved, you know, this is a Primarch, a loyalist Primarch, one of the Emperor's sons, What would he do if he discovered that the Blood Ravens were an offshoot of the Thousand Sons gene seed? There's so many different possibilities here if they are brave enough to dive into the history of the Blood Ravens, and I honestly can't wait, dude. Okay, but enough fangasming about the Blood Ravens. So the next thing that fascinates me is the reason for the Mechanicus being on the planet. So obviously this is effectively another Mechanicus 1 or Mechanicus 2 type story where the Mechanicus go to a planet looking for tech or looking for artifacts, and then they wake the Necrons up. And it appears this time around, the Necrons are going to be led by a Chronomancer, and judging by the fact that the Lion is involved, you don't introduce a Primarch into the narrative when you're going to be fighting something like a stereotypical Necron Lord. I really feel like a Catan Shard has to be involved, or even worse, or even better, depending on how you look at it, something like the Silent King, which would be absolutely absurd. I don't even know if they'd be able to get Games Workshop's permission to put the Silent King in. But I think about the 500 Worlds campaign and Captain Titus, and how they basically took a video game character and graduated them and integrated them into the mainstream narrative of 40K. What if this is literally just the opposite? It's taking these really big characters like the Lion and potentially the Silent King and making them fight in a video game, taking them directly from the narrative and putting them into the video game and letting the video game push the narrative forward, just like what Space Marine 2 did with Captain Titus. And if you're going to do something like that, if you're going to gamble like that, I feel like Dawn of War is a good franchise to gamble on. There are a couple of times in Warhammer 40K's history as a franchise after the year 2000 where there were these massive spikes in interest in the franchise. And the first massive spike in interest that we saw in Warhammer 40K was actually when Dawn of War released, and the most recent spike in interest was actually when Space Marine 2 launched. So to me it makes perfect sense to take a lot of your bigger characters in the narrative and throw them all into the same video game and let them and their armies just duke it out. Not only is Dawn of War 4 going to be a love letter to the fans, but it's also going to be somebody else's introduction to the hobby, and I can't think of a better way to introduce someone to Warhammer 40k. This game is going to have 40 plus minutes of cinematics and cutscenes, just like we saw in the story trailer. So if we get a fight scene between the Lion and the Silent King, that might break the internet. Okay, but that is effectively everything that I could think of off the top of my head. I'll probably edit some Dawn of War and Space Marine 2 gameplay over this discussion after the trailer reaction itself. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if you'd want to see more of this in the future. My heart is literally just racing right now. I literally cannot stop shaking. I don't even know how to end the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye. The Emperor protects. I can't wait for this freaking game.